Welcome back to another Purple Goldfish. Jack Campisi here with Stan Phelps.
How you doing?
All right, so today we're going to talk about sampling. Free sample.
Sampling can be a purple goldfish if you do it the right way.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like it's at the heart of the whole thing. So we've got a few examples of places that have got this down to an art form, and we're going to start with the low-hanging fruit. Stu Leonard's our favorite, one of our favorite, top 100.
Before you say, just to qualify, Stu's, the most profitable grocery store per square foot in the world.
Now, one of the reasons people like to go there is the same reason people like to go to Costco or BJ's. When you do a lap,
Free samples.
you get fed.
Right, you graze.
Yeah, so Costco is a great example. My father and I, hey, we got to go get some surge protectors or something. Oh, you're going to BJ or Costco? I'll take a ride with you. And before you know it, wow, I didn't know Kirkland cold cuts taste so good. You know, like, what? Did you try that crab dip? Yeah, I never would have tried that before. But Stu Leonard's, I mean, like, you can't go 10 feet without taking a taste of a muffin
Right.
or...
And a lot of it's the product that they make fresh there, whether it's, like you say, in the bakery, so cookie, it could be the fresh mozzarella that they make.
and that just triggers the impulse buys.
Right,
Well, Stu's is one of those, I mean, they've got it down to a science. You have to walk through the fun house
right,
before you get to the end, and they just keep tempting you.
right.
There's because you call it Satan Leonards, because they're tempting you the whole time.
In a good way.
In a good way.
In a good
The
way.
Temptation Island. And then the kind of sister store to this is Trader Joe's, another very popular supermarket. And I mean, that place has such personality.
Right.
And
Unique products.
then there's just like at the end of the aisles, there's always
Something going on.
There's always something. So you're always trying things, and you know, you may try mango salsa, and suddenly, wow, I didn't know I liked mango salsa. That's
Right.
really good.
Well, why do you think sampling works?
I wish there were some statistics that could help tell the story,
Well,
but I'm not such a statistic guy. But I think
Right.
you are.
Well, Brand Week ran an article about, I think it was a year or two ago, and it really broke down the return on sampling. And so this is interesting. They had studied it, and they found that 35% of people who sample a product will actually buy that product during that visit. So think about it. The turnover, more than 1 out of every 3 samples that you give out will yield a sale of the product. And it's just not the sale of the product for that day.
No, because it's like when you're in the mall, and it's always the Asian, that bourbon chicken or whatever they have.
Right.
They're always giving you a piece. But when
Right.
you're like looking at burgers and everything and this and that, and you're like, that's sweet. I'm going to get that.
Right.
And the next time, I got to get some of that. And you're always going to at least walk by and get the free sample.
Right.
And then maybe your friend, what's that?
So that's an interesting one. So there's a great return, not only to get people to buy the product that day, but think about it, what may be the lifetime value of that customer. My wife's a great example. At Stu's, they do the chicken salad that they sample. Oh my God, it's every week we have chicken salad now because my wife is hooked on it. The other interesting stat about sampling, Jack, is that they say that 24% of people who buy a product when they've sampled it will actually purchase that product instead of the one that they intended to buy on that trip.
That's huge, because in market research, they're always talking about what happens from the house to the store.
Right,
You know, and that's, sampling can happen at the store.
right, on that last mile. So think about it. I mean, 1 out of every 4, someone had an idea that they were going to the store to get XYZ. Someone gave them a sample. They said, I don't want that, I want this one. That's huge.
Well, think about when you go to a state fair. There's booths that are taste my barbecue sauce, taste my preserves,
right?
And then you're like, oh, before you know it, you're walking out with a box full of different things. The places that aren't giving you samples, you're like, well, I don't know. That sounds kind of weird.
My theory is that it boils down to reciprocity. So you think about it. Somebody's out, you give them something. It's human nature to want to give something back. And maybe that little giving back is actually just buying the product.
Well, there's a psychological thing to that, because there's also, like, as the consumer, sometimes I feel like a good salesman will give you a free sample, and then he'll also, come on, he'll push you a little bit.
Right.
That sample opens up the opportunity for somebody to engage in dialogue with you, and have a conversation, and get you from browsing to purchasing.
Right.
So, you're always looking for an excuse to talk to people, a reason to talk to people.
Right.
That can just be a conversation starter. So they might try, go back to the salsa. They try the mango salsa. Now suddenly you're having a dialogue with them. Before you know it, you're selling them beef jerky and,
right,
kettle corn or something.
It's a good point. It's a traffic driver, and it's a conversation starter.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
And then the last one, well, we got two. One of them was me. We did a video of this on the site. I was
this is Bigelow?
Bigelow tea here in Connecticut. I was drinking, I like a couple of different flavors, but I opened up a box one day, and there was I didn't even notice it because it kind of looked the same, but I was like, oh, is that different? And it was an orange tea. And I was like, did I buy the wrong box? And when I went through it, it turns out it was like vanilla chai, but they threw one orange in the box, and now I know I like orange tea too. So I never would have tried that tea ever.
Right.
I know what I like, unless I went to somebody's house maybe or something, but I wouldn't have asked for it. But by putting it right in my hand, I'm like, oh, I'll give this a try.
Right, and there's no risk, right?
Absolutely not.
Right. So why wouldn't you try it? And the last one is Nagoya.
Nagoya. This one is great.
Yeah. So I live in Norwalk, Connecticut. There's a place in South Norwalk called Nagoya, and so I think Japanese, cuisine, maybe
Asian fusion Asian, I don't know.
Something like that. A little sushi, a little bit. Anyway, my neighbor swears by this place, and the reason why he loves it so much is whenever he orders takeout there, they always throw a little something in for them to sample. And he was saying, it's always written house special or on the house, on the package.
It's not extra stuff that you order. It's not extra tuna roll.
No, so it's something on the menu. It's always different. And whether it's edamame, a certain type of California roll, if it's a certain dessert or a soup.
So it's getting you to try something on the menu that you wouldn't have ordinarily ordered.
Right.
Which takes the fear out of ordering something that you wouldn't like.
Right, exactly. And gets people out of their rut. Try something different. No risk, right?
Yeah, try it once, and if you don't like it, move on. But all of a sudden you may discover, like, oh my God, it's like I was afraid of sushi for years, and then finally I tried it, and now I can't get enough of it.
Right.
So I love that. I think more restaurants got to do that kind of thing.
Nagoya, yeah. Nagoya, it's funny, they say that it's something that they really look forward to because they know it's that little surprise. They never know what it's going to be.
It kind of plays on when you in San Francisco, when you go to the Chinese restaurants, and like the authentic Chinese guy owns the place, and you can order off the menu or you can let him surprise you.
Right. Right.
And and most times when you walk out, you're like, I'm glad I let him surprise me because I never would have ordered that, and it was awesome.
Right.
Okay, that's enough for this episode. Join us next time for the next Purple Goldfish, and submit yours to marketinglanyap.com.
We'll see you next week.